Okay, so here we're going to look at an inventory item class. It should look like all of the classes you've seen so far. Inventory item, it has 4 data members, a part number, a description, the number of units on hand, and a price. It's got a default constructor. It's got a constructor with parameters. It has 4 get functions. And instead of having 4 set functions, it has one set function called set inventory item, where the user of the class can set all 4 of the data members at the same time. So sometimes in a class you might see separate set functions. In this class we see one set function. I'm going to look at the code here. Okay, we have our default constructor, just sets the data members to some generic values. We have the constructor with parameters, and then I have the code for my set inventory item. Now if you look at the constructor with parameters code and this one, you'll see that the code is the same, but they serve a different purpose. This one gets called when you declare an inventory item object. Let's say you say inventory item, part 1, and you pass it 4 parameters. It'll set all these up. This is for later on in the program when you've already declared your object, like inventory item part 1, and then later on in the program you might want to set the data members. So this would be called later on in your program. So now I'm going to come in here and we're going to just show you that it declares one item called part, and we're going to call 2 functions. Okay, and I'll come back to the functions in a minute. What I'd like to do here is I'd like to talk about putting a guard around this class. And this will make sure that your header file doesn't get included any more than one time. If you have 3 files and they all include this header file, inventoryitem.h, you will get errors in your program. By putting this compiler directive or this guard around the header file, it ensures that will not happen, so it is good programming practice. So we put if not defined, and it's right before the beginning of the class, and I'll call this inventory item underscore h. And usually it's just the name of the class all in uppercase. And this will be define inventory item underscore h. And then we come all the way down to the end of the class and we put end if. It's not going to change anything else. It just goes here in the header file itself around the class. Again, it's good programming practice. So really your classes should have this. Okay, let me go back to my driver now and we'll just see what happens. And we're going to talk about these functions in the next video. So it's going to call a function to store the values and a function to show the values. And we're going to talk about the different types of parameters. So let me stop now and I'll pick up in the next example.